Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Ibrox, where it's last chance saloon time for Rangers. As far as keeping hopes of Europa League progress alive are concerned, nothing less than a victory is likely to be any use as they aim to rise off the foot of the table. Braga, though, have been going along very nicely, maximum points until the blip last time out against Genk, including, of course, a win across the city against Celtic. Now they have the chance to become the first team ever to beat both halves of the Old Firm away from home in the same European campaign. The teams are out on the pitch. Rangers in their traditional blue tops, white shorts, black and red socks. Braga more or less all in red. There's a white stripe down either side of the top. But the Portuguese side come here looking to strengthen their ambitions of progressing in this competition, and in a pretty good position to do just that, especially if they can put on the type of performance they did at Celtic Park when they really gave Celtic the run around. And Rangers, though, still looking to get their first points. I say they're looking to rise off the bottom of the league table. In actual fact, they've managed to do that without playing this evening, thanks to Nice going down 3-0 away to Porto. That has put them bottom on 0 points, with a worse goal difference than Rangers now. So Rangers, though, looking to get a first victory on the board in this competition, a competition in which they performed so well, of course, in seasons gone by. Last season they finished 8th at this stage of the competition, and went on to ultimately lose in the quarter-final to Athletic Club de Bilbao, as the two teams here switch ends. Jack Butland making his way through the wind and rain up to the Broomloan Road end. Andy and I were looking at the crowd just about 5-10 minutes ago, and it's certainly fleshed out since then, but still a lot of empty blue seats, which is a bit of a rarity on European nights at Ibrox, but such is the way things are going, or have been going, at Rangers so far this season. Anyhow, we're looking to continue the uptick in performances and results, at least under Danny Rule here this evening, as Nico Raskan awaits the referee's signal, and there it is, and he rolls it back to Conor Barron, who then plays it back into the centre circle for Raskan. It's back to Diamondi, who plays it down the left-hand side. It's quickly picked up by Braga at the back. Barron there, though, in the midfield to win possession back, and now it's Diamondi. You've got the winner against Livingston, tries to link there with Gassama. It's just behind him, and Braga pick up once more over on the right-hand side. It's Salazar, who came off the bench at Celtic Park, and he's such a dangerous player for the Portuguese side. They haven't been blowing the Portuguese league away, though, you have to say. 7th place at the moment for Braga, sitting 8th in the Europa League table. But certainly, having watched them at Celtic Park, they were pretty impressive that night, so Rangers will have to up their game from that performance here against Livingston at the weekend. It's Braga in possession. At the back is Niakate going back to his goalkeeper, Czech Lukas Hornacek. They're trying to play out from the back here. Rangers looking to press them in, and the ball just hacked out of play there by Lagerbielke. Early thoughts of Andy Halliday alongside me.
Well, debating before the game, Alistair, what does Rangers setup look like? I think we're seeing pretty early on it's that back four. I think that being the case, I think Conor Barron's going to have to be really disciplined for Rangers in that midfield, given how dangerous that two behind the striker are for Braga.
Throw in taken by Tavernier, header won by Chermiti. Braga managed to knock it clear. Comes to Giga, back into Fernandez, his new central defensive partner. Back to Butland it goes. He launches it long. Gassama will give chase here. Gassama might get on to this. It's just clutched before he can get there by Hornacek, right at the edge of his box. I mean, the conditions are far from ideal here, Andy, and Butland almost taking advantage of a fairly strong wind maybe blowing behind him to pick out Gassama's run there.
Yeah, I was actually watching Chermiti and trying to look for him to get back on side as quickly as possible, but Gassama's pace, he tried to keep it alive, and like he says, for a moment there, thought he was going to go to the end of it.
Braga still trying to play out from the back. It does look like they're playing against the wind, although it's fairly blustery and probably whipping around the entire stadium. It's difficult to tell exactly, but looks like Rangers do have the wind at their back for the most part in this first period, as it's played forward but given away by Moutinho, and Raskan picks up left hand side midway inside the Braga half. Aarons gets it back to Tavernier, who can't find the pass for a teammate, and Moutinho will pick up once more as Danny Rule and his counterpart in the opposite technical area, Carlos Vicens, the Mallorquin manager of Braga, both control the edges of their technical area. Rule more animated as Braga are caught in possession, but they've got the break of the ball, and it's Salazar trying to get free of Raskan, and now out to the right hand side for Victor Gomez. Back in field it goes to Gorby. Braga trying to come forward really for the first time in the match, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side of Aarons. 3.5 minutes gone, no goals as yet, and no real threats to either goalkeeper, you'd have to say, as the throw-in is taken down that right hand side by Braga, but the referee spotted an infringement, gives Rangers the free kick deep in their own territory, almost 4 on the clock. Rangers 0, Braga 0.
What early signs are telling us that Rangers are pretty happy for Braga's 3 centre-halves to knock the ball about, but as soon as it goes to either wing-back, they'll try to be a lot more aggressive. They've already forced them into a couple of early errors, not managed quite yet to take advantage, but 4 minutes on the clock, it's been a little bit cagey so far.
Free kick to be taken here by Butland, just to the left of his penalty area. Hoists it over the halfway line. Chermiti won't get the flick on. Gassama tries to feed off that scrap, but it's all the way through to Hornacek inside his penalty area, and he gathers that pretty comfortably. Clean sheet for him at Celtic Park. He'll be looking for the same here at Ibrox as he places the ball on the ground and looks to play out once more. Sweeps out to the left hand side, and it's picked up by Martinez, but it's Barron though winning possession for Rangers. Fernandez, a poor ball forward, and Salazar will pick up, and Braga can try and mount their first real attack of the game. Victor Gomez, he finds his way blocked, and Fernandez gets possession once more. He'll have to be a bit more careful with his balls forward. This time it goes onto the chest of Diamondi, and Chermiti does well and gets it to Gassama, who slips and then handles it, but the play is allowed to continue because Braga were in possession and they really made a mess of the advantage they were given there, as Niakate had good possession in the Rangers half but couldn't find a teammate, and Gassama in a good position. It was unfortunate slip, but he almost got away with one in the end because Niakate wasted the pass.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. Chermiti was on his way down that right hand side, but Gassama just lost his footing, and Rangers were really fortunate. Braga had an opportunity to carry the ball up the pitch but took the wrong option, tried to play it early, and luckily gave the ball back to Rangers.
It's back with Butland. No goals after 5.5 minutes as Butland clips it up to the halfway line. Chermiti again doing well to get that back to Diamondi, who's playing just ahead of both Barron and Raskan in that attacking midfield role. Aarons now back to Fernandez, who scored a towering header to open the scoring against Livingston, and he will be a real threat if Rangers can get a few set pieces, especially if their new set piece coach has been able to put something together for this one. Here's Giga on the halfway line looking for an option, plays it short to Barron, who spins and gets it back to Fernandez once more just inside his own half. Square to Raskan and then forward for Tavernier on the right hand side. Raskan and Tavernier exchange passes again, and then it's back to Giga just inside Rangers territory. Again, he's just rather ponderous and he gets away with it up against Fran Navarro there, who put him under pressure, but Giga was able to keep possession. Long it goes from Butland again looking for Chermiti. That time he can't get anything on it. Navarro knew he was offside, so doesn't go for the ball, and Giga gets it back from Barron. Tavernier now picks up just inside his own half, back to Giga once more. If you're Braga, you'll know that both these centre backs are pretty inexperienced, certainly playing together, and from what I've seen, certainly both got a mistake in them from time to time.
Well, early on, I've been really surprised so far with how narrow that Jedi Gassama and Danilo are playing. They're almost playing like a extremely narrow front three alongside Chermiti, and at this moment in time Rangers struggling for a bit of width.
Here is Gassama though, picking up, coming in off the right, good footwork into a central area now, looking for a pass, tries to squeeze it out to Tavernier, which he manages to do. Tavernier takes it back inside and plays it to Barron. Barron out to the left to Aarons. Looks like Danny Rose looking for his full-backs to provide the width that Andy Halliday's talking about, as Diamondi now spins and gets it back to Tavernier. Diamondi was caught after he played the pass. The referee's allowing the advantage, but there's no real advantage because the ball's back in a much deeper area. Good pass from Barron though, out to Gassama, right hand side. Diamondi back on his feet as Gassama moves away from Niakate, and this time he'll get the free kick. Not sure it was all that much in that one, but I think the referee realised maybe he'd made the error by not giving the earlier free kick to Diamondi, and this time he's points for the Rangers set piece in a decent position.
It looked pretty soft to me, I must admit, but listen, Rangers get it. But that's the positions you want to see Jedi Gassama in. Get him in the 1v1 scenarios where he can go outside, go inside. He comes inside, gets a free kick. And you've got to say that one thing you'll say about the two centre halves, and Nasser Giga and Manny Fernandez, there'll certainly be a set piece to it.
Yeah, well, looks like Rangers' new set piece coach is out there giving the orders from the touchline now as Tavernier has it. It's about 12 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre. We've got plenty of players in and around the edge of the box as Tavernier prepares to swing it in. Looks like Braga have got their own set piece coach looking how to defend this situation. Not a great ball from Tavernier, and in fact the free kick has gone to Braga. I'm not sure if that's on an offside or a push in there. Either way, the set piece comes to nothing, and that's disappointing for Rangers in their first real opportunity of the game.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. You know, you just mentioned there, Scott Fry got off to a pretty good start at the weekend. The first corner under his tenure, they managed to score off it. They try to work a routine with everyone at the back and attacking the middle zone, but it's all well and good having a routine. If you don't get the delivery right, then you're not going to score.
Well, you can usually rely on Tavernier to provide the delivery, can't you? And that was one occasion where it didn't quite happen for him, as Braga again tried to build from a deep area, but again they've almost given it away. Danilo couldn't quite keep a hold of it, but Rangers have won it back again. It's good tenacity in that area from Rangers, and Danilo's picked up left hand side, midway inside the Braga half. Good challenge on him though, and Braga can bring it forward on that right flank as they try to progress. Raskar makes the challenge though and knocks it out of play. Almost 10 played, no goals, no real chances of any note, but Rangers have started okay, Andy, would you say?
They have, and again, you know, it's that wing back position where Rangers are trying to capitalise. That seems to be the trigger for their press. That time they forced Victor Gomez into an error into the middle of the pitch. Couldn't quite capitalise, but no, it's early promising signs.
Magavilka back to his goalkeeper, who takes a touch and then plays it out into the midfield, and now they can play around the press and begin to attack themselves, but Aarons steps in. It was a bit of poor control there from Victor Gomez, and Aarons, he's just overrun it and left the ball behind, and Braga pick up once more on the right flank. Into centre it comes, but Tavernier's done well now. Diamondi just inside the Braga half, gets it back the way to Gassama, who's inside his own half, plays into Fernandez, waits for a Braga player to come towards him. None wants to do so he plays it square to Giga, then he gets it back. Now Braga might think about pressing as Fernandez takes a touch and then clips it out to the left hand side. Too much height on that though for Danilo to make anything of it, and it's easily picked up in the middle of the park. It's Horta who picked up possession. Now it's back with Arian B, back into the centre for Gorby. Rangers backing off here as Gorby picks up again right hand side on the halfway line. No goals as yet. We'll keep you up to date with any goals that go in at Pittodrie in their Conference League game against Noah as well. Remember Celtic, terrific result for them, 3-1 away to Feyenoord, coming from a goal down, so they have really improved their hopes of qualifying. The ball through the middle here, I mean, looked miles offside, and Butland just sees it out of play in the end, but Ricardo Horta looked a good 3 yards offside when that ball was played. It didn't ever look like it had a chance of coming to anything. Rangers have the goal kick then, 12 minutes in.
It's the first time we've managed to see that box midfielder Braga getting the ball, and knock a couple of passes out, and for me that's the one area that Rangers need to avoid, getting that 11 Braga to pick up that pocket of space in behind Rangers midfield, get their eyes up and play forward.
There's Navarro getting out to the right hand side, and now picked up by Gorby once more, and now it's played forward by Horta, gets it back from Salazar. Horta, brilliant save from Jack Butland, first time he's been called into action, and Horta can't believe it because Butland got down oh so quickly to push that away with the right hand. That looked destined for the bottom corner. It came through the legs of Fernandes, but Butland with a top save to push it behind Braga corner, but it could have been so much better for them.
As they two were talking about, the two number 10s and Ricardo Horta and Salazar play a lovely little give and go. Rangers sleeping, not following the run on. It's a lovely little cutback. You've got to say it's a great save from Jack Butland to divert it out for a corner.
Well, he's come up with so many in European competition for Rangers over the years he's been here, and that was another one as the corner comes in from the left hand side, but it's dealt with by Raskin at the near post, and now Usama will go and chase it. He won't keep it in. He's a little shove there in the back of the Braga player, and the assistant, who was a couple of yards away from that, said that Gassama was guilty of the foul, and Gabriel Martinez, and it will be a free kick to Braga. But yeah, just a moment or two ago, Jack Butland preventing Rangers from going behind yet again in Europe. But as you say, Andy, they just went to sleep for a moment, and that's all it takes.
They did. I think it was Nico Raskin. I would need to see it again, but Ricardo Horta plays a lovely little through ball with Salazar playing on the last line, but then he's got to follow the runner into the box. Ricardo Horta ends up getting blindside to the Rangers midfielder. That cutback, you've got to say, I think Ricardo Horta will feel like it was a massive chance for him, but denied by Jack Butland.
So 0-0 it remains after 14 minutes here. Rangers have started well enough without troubling Lucas Hornacek in the Portuguese goal. Clear out to Lagerbielke at the back for Braga. Picked out Gomez on that right hand side, who's got a good bit of space as Danilo tries to track back onto the halfway line. It goes to Gorby just inside his own half. Rangers looking to close down the options for him, but he has squeezed out to the right hand side for Gomez once more, and Salazar finds a pocket of space. That's a lovely ball. This is another chance for Braga. There's another good save from Butland to deny them. Out at the feet of Horta once more, spread himself well and managed to get enough of a block on it to force it out of the penalty area. But here's Chermiti at the other end now. Is he taken down? No, it's the other way. The assistant referee flagged immediately. I wasn't sure which way he was going to give it, but he says Chermiti was the guilty party there, and Lagerbielke gets away with that. I'm not sure there's a massive amount of contact from Chermiti, Andy.
Well, I tell you what, Jack Butland to the rescue again, but in this instance, I mean, I think the referee's got that one wrong. Chermiti's pace, he gets to the wrong side of Lagerbielke. The ex-Celtic man drags him down. I've got to say, I'm really surprised that it's a free kick Braga's way, but again, that two behind the striker for Braga getting far too much space to clip a ball in behind. Ricardo Horta, I think he'll be disappointed again with his first touch, but take nothing away from Jack Butland. He's made himself big, he spread himself. It's to the rescue for Rangers' aid again.
Sure was, but Salazar and Horta look so dangerous, as Andy says, playing in behind Fran Navarro, but the link-up play between the pair has already caused Rangers a couple of problems. Horta, a veteran of this Braga side, he's played all four previous Europa League meetings against Rangers, and here he is trying to cause problems here. Picks out on the left hand side, it's cut back and then cut out by Giga. Now the offside flag goes up to prevent Rangers having to deal with a corner, but still guilty on far too many occasions of giving the ball away cheaply in dangerous positions, this Rangers side, Andy.
Yeah, and this time it's the captain, so often reliable in these situations, but tries to cut inside the pitch. Braga do well and steal it, and you've got to say again, I think Rangers are, they're living dangerously because it was a 4v3 attack, for Braga. They don't take advantage of it, but you've got to say, the first 10 minutes we talked about them starting well, but the last 5 minutes, that's three great opportunities for Braga to capitalise.
Yeah, none taken. So still 0-0 here. You listen to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, and we're joined by listeners on 5 Live as well this evening, as Chermiti does well again to win the flick on, and then he gets it back from Danilo, left hand side, leaves it now to Aarons, who goes back the way to the halfway line to Fernandes. square for Giga, just inside his own half and out to Tavernier on the right. Forward for Gassama. Gassama on that right flank, dances away from the first challenge from Niakate, then also from Gabriel Martinez, and again the assistant referee is pointed in Braga's favour. It looked like that should have been Rangers' ball one way or the other, but Gassama disappointed once more by the Dutch assistant down on this near side, so it will be a throw-in for Braga deep in their own territory, left hand side as they come forward.
It's positive at least again for Gassama, so often being the go-to man for Rangers in Europe this season. Once they get him in that position, you want him to be positive, you want him to get at the full-back.
Chermiti picks up though on the edge of the penalty area, can't keep a hold of it. Played forward now by Braga, who will try and flood forward again. They're getting bodies forward quickly as Gomez picks up right hand side into Gorby, gets it back from Matinho, more or less on the halfway line. 18 minutes in, no goals, but Braga certainly looking the more dangerous in the last few minutes, but Rangers have won it back and Danilo plays it in for Chermiti, who does just enough to get a flick onto it, but Gassama can't latch onto it himself, and so Braga get it back through Lagerbielke, who would have enjoyed the victory at Celtic Park. I'm sure he would enjoy a victory here at Ibrox even more. Former Celtic defender didn't really get a look in, did play a part in a victory here at Ibrox for Celtic in the one season that he appeared. Braga have it at the back. Rangers looking to press here through Barron, but it's out to RMB on that right hand side. Victor Gomez just drops the shoulder away from Aarons, clips it forward. Now Giga's got the pace to get back there and knocks it back to Butland, and Butland hammers it forward. Chermiti's offside, so he can't chase it, and it's going to go all the way through to Hornacek in the Braga goal. He quickly rolls it out to Lagerbielke as we approach the 20-minute mark. Lagerbielke has played the last few for Sweden, who I was astonished to read that they finished bottom of their World Cup qualifying group without a victory to their name. How the mighty have fallen. Ball's out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Midway inside their own half, Tavernier into Giga, back to Tavernier, the Rangers skipper once more. Giga will have to be careful here. Fran Navarro took a sore one there inadvertently from Tavernier, but play continues with Aarons into Barron, right on the edge of his box, tries to play it forward, comes to Raskan. It's a poor layoff from Raskan. I think he was trying to find Diamondi, but completely miscued it, and Braga get it back in. Just talking about James Tavernier, actually, it's the 62nd Europa League appearance for Rangers tonight. That takes him ahead of Andreas Ulmer, who previously had the most appearances for one team in this competition, the Salzburg veteran, but Tavernier now out on his own as the most appearances for any single team in this competition. It's yet another landmark for the Rangers captain. He's reached many of them in his 11 seasons at the club. He'd like a victory here tonight. That would be the main thing he'll be after, as Rangers look to try and make their mark on a competition that they've been really poor in so far this season. Tavernier forward, he's given it away to Matinho. Forward there for Horta. He claimed for a foul by Raskan, the referee wasn't interested. Gassama tries to go beyond Niakate. He'll get the free kick as Niakate just blocked him off. Horta will go and argue with the referee that he should have had a free kick prior to that. The referee's not interested in those complaints, and Rangers will get the free kick on the halfway line.
Well, 21 minutes in, and Rangers have to do a whole lot more when they get possession of the ball. You can't keep giving the ball away so cheaply against this Braga side. At this moment in time, it does feel a little bit like, get the ball to Gassama, can he get at his defender, get you up the pitch. Rangers just giving the ball away far too cheaply at the minute. Raskan has it, right hand side, back into Giga, square for Fernandez. Now Braga will come and press. He gets it out to Aaron's left hand side, but 15 yards inside his own half, into Barron. Barron with another quick pass back the way to Fernandez. Now it's Giga, but 10 yards inside his own half, checks out away from Navarro, back into Fernandez, just outside the centre circle. Aaron's across to his left. Fernandez holds on to it for now though.
and he plays it into Raskan. It's a good ball from Fernandez, and now it's Tavernier taking over on the right hand side, forward for Gassama in off that right hand side. Always think he looks better and more dangerous on the left, and he's crowded out by just about 4 Braga players. Very difficult for him to find a way through. Raskan makes the challenge again, no foul. Diamondi now midway inside the Braga half, back to Barron, out to the left to Aarons, into the feet of Danilo through past one challenge. Aarons takes over again. Good solid challenge on him at the edge of the box. He felt that one, Aarons. There's no holding back as he was prevented from finding a way through, and he's still down actually as Braga play it back to the goalkeeper Hornacek, and now the referee will stop the play for potential treatment for Aarons, who is down holding his left boot. There was a fierce challenge, and it looked a fair enough one to me, but you're never quite sure what the officials are going to allow nowadays with the ferocity of challenge. I mean, he clearly plays the ball, Lagerbielke there. I don't think Rangers can have any complaints about it, but Aaron certainly has been hurt by it.
Yeah, it's a good challenge, a good strong challenge. Sets Braga on their way, but I think at this moment in time Rangers are really struggling down that left hand side. Danilo's playing inverted, not a lot of width, as Braga get the quick restart to get themselves up the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's arguably a little bit naughty, even that Aarons was just getting himself up when the referee allowed them to take that quick restart, and looked to take advantage of Aarons being out of position. Came to nothing in the end. I just want to ask you, in terms of Rangers play, are you seeing evidence of what Danny Rule is trying to get his players to do that's different from what we saw earlier in the campaign?
To be honest, at this moment in time, no. I think off the ball, I certainly think there's been an improvement. I think their structure's been a lot more compact, a lot more solid. We can already see certain triggers that Rangers are trying to find to press hard and win the ball back. But I think in possession at the minute, like I said, I think down that left-hand side, Max Aarons is playing inside the pitch, Danilo's playing inside the pitch, there's no width out there. Whereas in this right-hand side, it's pretty much get the ball to Gassama and be direct.
Diamondi penalised for handball, free kick quickly taken. Out comes Fernandez to block. And the Rangers fans not happy. Salazar's shot was blocked there, but they felt they should have had a free kick themselves. But Diamondi on the ground was the man who was penalised for a handball. So it's a throw-in out on the right-hand side to Braga. We've played 24.5 minutes. There are no goals, but Braga certainly have come closest on a couple of occasions. Jack Butland having to look lively to deny them. Ricardo Horta on both occasions, actually, the player who was denied. Out for another throw-in on that far side to the Braga right, and well advanced into Rangers territory. Still 0-0 between Aberdeen and Noah in the Conference League. The Armenians visiting Pitorgi this evening. As Braga take the throw on right hand side, can they work the ball into the box? It's Coutinho now, still out on that right flank. RMB turns away and plays it into Gorby, back to the halfway line to Lagerbielke, who's looked pretty comfortable tonight. And again, it's another Braga throw-in over on that far side. The Rangers fans, no doubt, growing frustrated at not seeing enough of their side getting forward in an attacking phase, but at the moment at least they're keeping a clean sheet. 25 played. Braga with a throw-in over on the right once more, midway inside the Rangers half. It's going to break for Barron, who'll just nudge it to Aarons, who tries to flip it up and then volley it forward. In the end, he just plays it infield to Raskan. Raskan plays it short to Giga on the edge of his own penalty area. Further right to Tavernier. Tavernier forward for Chermiti, tries to help it on for Raskan, who made the run. It's cut out though, and Braga can try and come forward, but Gabriel Martinez, his own passes picked up by a Rangers player in Giga, and now Barron gets it out to Aarons. There's no real, as you say, Andy, Aarons wants to come in on his right foot on that, from that left back position. Danilo's not natural on the left, and so everything's really breaking down when it goes across to that left flank.
And what it's doing, Alistair, it's filtering Rangers into where Braga have a lot of bodies.
Tavernier sends it in towards the edge of the penalty area, headed away by RMB, picked up by Gorby, edge of the box here, and it's clipped up towards Salazar. You can see the effect of the wind as Braga try and clear the lines, and it comes right back at them, and Danilo picks up and tries to force it out to Aarons, left hand side once more, fails to do so. Braga looking to come forward again on the right hand side, and then once more they will get the the throw in. I mentioned earlier, Gassama for me is always more effective coming in off the left onto his right foot, but they've got him on the other flank tonight. Even, or you were saying he's actually playing pretty narrow, and he's gone in narrow just now, but when he is coming out wide, it's to the right rather than the left, and I think that kind of diminishes him as well.
Yeah, and we talked about being that key man in Europe so far this season.
Here he is
on the left,
popping up into the penalty, across goal just ahead of Chermiti. Chermiti will chase it, try and keep it in here on the right hand side, tries to get away from his marker, does well to eventually force it back to Tavernier. Danny Roll at the edge of the territory there, directing Tavernier to play it back the way, but it goes into Diamondi instead. Now it's back with Raskan, midway inside the Braga half, forward for Chermiti, won't catch that, behind for a goal kick, but at last Gassama getting on the ball in exactly the position I was talking about, and he looks a threat, of course.
Yeah, so I was just about to mention how much more dangerous he's looked on that side throughout the season, but for me, Alistair, we talk about Yusuf Chermiti and, you know, when's he going to score goals for Rangers and the profile striker he is. You have to bust a gut to attack that 6-yard box. It's a great delivery in that little corridor, but he's just ambling around that penalty spot.
Raskan with the pull back there. The referee's just going to have a word rather than a yellow card. No yellows shown so far, as Braga do get the free kick though for the pull back on Salazar to prevent him making any real headway. 28.5 played, 0-0 between Rangers and Braga in the Europa League. Rangers looking for their first point, or ideally points, of the campaign. Braga looking to move forward from the 9 out of 12 that they currently have, starting the evening in 8th position. Well, I say starting the evening, that was after the early kickoffs. They were in 8th position, so they can raise themselves even further up the table by the end of play with a draw or better, as Hornacek plays it out to the right hand side to RMB. Into the midfield it goes for Horta, who has been harried and hassled, and eventually there was a shirt tug there by Diamondi, and the free kick goes the way of the visitors.
Again, it's good from Rangers though. They try and force Braga down one side, and anytime there's that sort of straight pass into the midfield, Rangers try to capitalise and force errors. Raskin just a little bit overzealous there, gives Braga a cheap free kick.
Back to Hornacek it goes, almost at the half hour, still goalless. You listen to Sportsnet on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live. Europa League night here, as Moutinho plays it back to RMB, right hand side for Braga. Into the midfield, it's a terrible pass. Gassama was alive too. Was he caught there? Referee not interested, and Braga pick up possession here through Niakate, crossing the halfway line out to the left hand side to Martinez. Martinez up against Tavernier, just takes him down the line, tries to get the cross in. It's a good ball, and it's a good header in the end from Fernandes, although it looks like it didn't miss the post by too much there. Fernandes looks pretty calm. He has a big blow out there as he managed to get into the near post to send it behind. The angle there on the replay doesn't tell us too much about it, but important that he got there and managed to direct it behind for the corner kick.
Similar to that ball from Gassama, you know, he gets in the corridor uncertainty again. Manny Fernandes there to head it out.
Short corner taken, swung in, good ball, and Lagerbielke rising at the back post, couldn't rise high enough to direct the ball on target. Otherwise that was another big opportunity. Rangers are not really alive to the short corner there, and it was swung in by Horta. Lagerbielke just inches away from threatening Jack Butland's goal once more.
Well, that for me is why Scott Fry's been brought into the football club. You know, it's an area that Rangers have really struggled. You know, Braga worked the short corner, they end up 4v1 overloaded at the back post, and they'll be amazed they've not took advantage of it.
Diamondi again going down off the ball, and this time the referee spots it and gives Rangers the free kick just inside the Braga half on the right flank. The referee having a word there with the 39-year-old Moutinho, who's learned a few tricks over the years and doesn't get away with that one. Goalless then after 31.5 minutes. Tavernier over this free kick, about 10 yards inside the Braga half. He goes back the way to Giga and then gets it back once more right hand side, then clips it. It's a good ball into the edge of the box. Diamondi trying to bring it under control. It eventually rolls it back to Raskan square to Fernandes, about 20 yards into the Braga half, out to the left for Aarons. Again, he wants to come back infield, and he has to go back the way to Fernandes for Raskin. He's closed down by Horta, gets it back out to the left to Aarons. Again he's forced inside and back the way to Fernandes. Aarons once more, but Rangers going back the park, and the fans want to see them making some headway in attack. They've not troubled Lucas Hornacek at all yet, and then Giga knocks it out of play as he was trying to find Tavernier, and Braga get the throw in about 10 yards into the Rangers half. And as you say, Andy, they're just not offering enough when they get the ball.
They're not, and again, I think they're causing themselves constant problems down that left-hand side. You know, and I feel for Max Aarons because he doesn't have any natural width in front of him. Every time it's forcing Rangers back in the pitch, but on that occasion it was just slack for Nasser Giga to give up the throw-in.
Yeah, left back certainly a position that you would imagine Rangers would be looking to address in the January window. Only Jaden Magoma there, he's played virtually every game since arriving on loan from Brentford, as Tavernier battles away to keep possession, and then Giga just hoofs it high in the air down the right hand side. Gassama will get the throw in here just inside the Braga half, but yes, if Magoma, I don't know, I mean he's on the bench tonight, he maybe just needs a bit of a rest. He's still young and he's been asked to play a lot of football, but when he's not available, and especially now that Cornelius is also out, he could probably deputise it at left back. They just don't have another natural option there.
No, and he would be one that would provide you that natural width, being left-footed. But no, trying not to repeat myself here, but I'm really surprised that Jedi Gassama's not been changed over to that left-hand side to help Max Aarons out.
Yeah, he is linking with Tavernier, and now it's a chance here for Danilo. Straight, the keeper has got to do better from just inside the box. Diamondi rolled it right into his path, and Danilo coming in off the left struck it straight at the Czech keeper, and that was Rangers' best chance of the game by a long chalk, and they couldn't take it. 0-0.
It's the best chance of the game, period, for me. Diamandi does excellent to take it on the half turn. Braga have no one on the right hand side of their box. It gets slipped into Danilo. I was questioning whether he could take a touch to set himself towards a goal, but one thing's for sure, if he takes a shot, it has to be with more power and precision that he done there. End up just meekly into Hornacek's hands.
Yeah, Danilo, he's not a striker who's scored a load of goals for Rangers, certainly, but you would have hoped that he could have done better with that, the Brazilian. A really good opportunity. Rangers have got a free kick here, about 10 yards into the Braga half, pretty central. Tavernier over it, clips it towards the back of the penalty area. Fernandes will rise, but can't direct it back across goal, straight behind for a goal kick. And it remains after almost 35 minutes. Rangers 0, Braga 0.
Yeah, just seen that chance again. What a chance it is as well for Danilo. You know, if I'm being hypercritical, can Diamandi put a little bit more angle and weight on the pass to put him in closer to goal? But no, there's no doubt about he should do better with the finish. It's, you know, I don't know if he even tries to place it to the far corner, he tries to reverse it, but one thing's for sure, it was a shot that ends up in the goalkeeper's hands. Yeah, it was an easy save for the keeper in the end, didn't really have to do much. Lucas Hornacek, as the ball's back with his opposite number, Jack Butland. He's been clearing a lot with his left foot and haven't been overly effective. That was another one, but Rangers managed to keep possession, and it's Raskin coming up to the halfway line here and then just nudges it back to Tavernier into Barron on the halfway line. And now Fernandes out to the left-hand side to Aarons, about 10 yards inside his own half. Into Barron it goes. He's surrounded by four and he gets the break of the ball there, and he's a bit fortunate, but it's made his own luck, perhaps you could argue. Gets it back from Danilo, and now Rangers can come forward. And a good switch of play now to Gassama inside the penalty area, trying to get away from Martinez, flashes it into the near post, pushed away by the keeper and then blasted high and wide by Tavernier. A lack of composure there from the skipper, but again it's good play from Barron and Gassama, and Rangers just beginning to pose a threat to this Braga backline. It's a lovely switch of play for Conor Barron. There's no doubt where Rangers' main creativity is coming from. Jedi Gassama again does really well to take Martinez on the outside, tries to flash it across goal, gets parried out to James Tavernier, and with someone that has quality, we've seen him do it so often, I think it'll be disappointing not to work the goalkeeper at least. Braga play the short goal kick. Chermiti putting pressure on Lagerbielke. They're struggling here to get it clear. Aarons is picked up left hand side, tries to force it into the box. Diamondi, Chermiti's shot's blocked. Better period from Rangers. Barron picks up, clips it into the area. Gassama goes down under the challenge. Referee says nothing in it.
The crowd don't agree. VAR will have a look at it. Play continues though with Rangers still in possession. Back in the halfway line, but it's Tavernier now, right hand side. Gassama's still down. Clipped to the back post. Danilo knocks it down. Chermiti's in there trying to force it goalwards. Hornacek dives on it. And that appears to be that. The referee will allow perhaps a bit of treatment here for Gassama. Well, that was untidy there as Danilo tried to link with Chermiti, but it was the previous opportunity when Gassama went down. Is there enough in that, Andy? We're just looking at the contact from Martinez.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that Martinez makes contact with Jedi Gassama after Jedi Gassama controls it with his chest. I think this will be an interesting one for them to see again. Martinez is pretty strong in the challenge with Gassama. Gassama's already up in the air, so I don't think it takes a lot of contact to knock him off balance. But I don't think, like he says, there's no doubt about it, it's been Rangers' best bit of pressure. I think it's a lovely crossfield pass as well for James Tavernier to pick out Danilo at the back post. He does the right thing for me by heading it across to Chermiti. Doesn't quite get enough contact on it to make Hornacek work, but much better period for Rangers.
Yeah, well, there's no indication that there's a major check going on here, but you've got to imagine VAR are having some sort of look at the challenge on Gassama by Martinez. The ball, as Andy says, was in the air. Gassama was in the air when he did get a bit of contact, not a massive amount, but as you say, when you're already airbound, it doesn't take a lot to knock you off balance, and he's certainly still down getting treatment. I don't know if he perhaps landed awkwardly. 6.5 minutes left in this first period. Rangers 0, Braga 0.
It's Conor Barron again, Alistair, with a lovely crossfield pass. He just feeds it into that area for Gassama. I've got to say, I think it would be soft, just given that he is already in the air when he takes that chest control. And I think there's certainly contact there, but I don't think there's a whole lot of contact, and that's probably why it's not going to be given as a penalty.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think there's anything really happening VAR wise. The referee is just directing Gassama off the pitch because he's had treatment, and it looks like he's going to give the drop ball to the goalkeeper. That's exactly what's happening, so no penalty, and Gassama will need to trot round and make his way back onto the pitch. But certainly a better last 10 minutes from Rangers. They have begun to threaten themselves, having been excuse me, on the end of a couple of decent chances earlier on for Braga, but no goals as yet as we approach the final 5 minutes of this first half in the Europa League on Matchday 5 at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Braga 0 as Gassama re-enters the fray, and Braga have it over on the far side on the halfway line. Coutinho knocks it back to Gomez. Down goes Coutinho into the challenge of Raskin. Didn't look to be anything wrong with that from this vantage point, but referee not happy. Raskin not happy with the decision either.
My initial instinct was thoughts that it wasn't a free kick, but to be fair, you've seen the replay there. I think the referee does get that one right.
Yeah,
I think Raskin's right, just ever so slightly late. I thought initially it was Nico Raskin that helped the ball forward for Rangers, but on second viewing, you've got to say it was the Braga player, and I think the free kick was the correct decision.
Yeah, well, yes, I take that back. So free kick to Braga, just a few yards inside the Rangers half. 0-0 it stands. 0-0 at Vittoria between Aberdeen and Noah, and 3-1 earlier to Celtic in Rotterdam against Feyenoord. Robin van Persie's side going through a real sticky patch. Celtic on to 7 points in the Europa League after 5 games, and really giving themselves a chance of at least getting into the playoff stage as Braga tried to come forward on that right hand side. Salazar stopped in his tracks though, and Rangers pick up. It's Raskin, but he's lost possession. He was doubled up upon there. Rangers working hard to try and win it back. Sliding challenge goes in there. That was a poor challenge there from Navarro, and it's the first yellow card of the game. The challenge on Aarons is not liked by the referee, and he shows the yellow card to the Spanish striker, and it will be a free kick to Rangers.
Yeah, I'm just watching Braga every time that they're in the build-up phase with the back three, and they almost have 5 players in the top line against Rangers, trying to make it a 5v4. what that's forcing Conor Barron or Nico Raskin to do is drop really deep to stay close to Ricardo Horta or Salazar. I've got to say, I think, for me, I think Conor Barron's had a really good first half for Rangers.
Yeah, agreed. As Lagerbielke has it at the back, takes a chance but gets away with it, gets the ball to Matinho. Rangers trying to press, but Braga comfortable, but Chermiti not allowing Lagerbielke a moment on the ball, and now he's lost it to Gassama. Tavernier picks up and plays it back to Giga. Rangers putting the effort in there in the midfield. Barron now skips away from 2 challenges, then slides in to a third, and he's actually got the decision himself, because I think he was pulled back just as he tried to go through the 2 players, which is maybe just as well, because he did rather slide in recklessly, trying to keep the ball. But anyway, Rangers get the free kick, which has already been taken, as Gassama tries to take Martinez on the outside. He's barged to the ground, and Rangers have a free kick. Martinez is furious, but the assistant referee is right on hand to try and cool him down, and Rangers will have the free kick a yard or so in from the right touchline, and pretty much in line with the 18-yard box. A decent position, and they'll send Fernandes and Giga forward to try and capitalise just before half-time.
Well, I'm not sure why Martinez is furious, because I don't think that Rangers get the free kick for the initial challenge. It's when Gassama's on the floor, he ends up diving on top of him, not allowing him to get back up. But no, this is the 4th instance in this half that Rangers have had a set piece for a similar area. They've not managed to make any count so far, so big opportunity before half-time.
Tavernier asking, surely, I'm not sure the Braga player's 10 yards away, but anyway, Tavernier from the right hand side. What's his delivery like this time? Looks like a better one, but the near post is met once more, but Gassama picks up, tries to get it back across goal, and he'll play it off the Braga player for a corner.
Usually a set piece specialist, James Tavernier. Now you can see where Rangers set up, they're committing all their attackers at the back post. They try and work it to either the middle of the goal frame or the back post, but it's the 3rd time now James Tavernier's managed to hit the first man. It's him taking this corner again.
Yep, he's got a chance here from the right hand side. Gassama's a short option. Aaron's just outside the penalty area as Tavernier ponders. Plenty of players lined up at the back post area once more though. What's he going to do? Tavernier from the right hand side clips it in towards the back post. Out comes the keeper, gets something on it. Danilo will collect it, the left hand side of the box. Back to Barron. Barron on the angle, sends it back. It's a good ball. Chermiti takes a touch and then it's knocked away. And surely you just take that first time. A number 9 inside the 6-yard box at the back post. Andy Halliday, you've got to just take that on the volley.
Well, for me, it's just a striker that's low in confidence at the minute. Doesn't quite seem to have that goal scoring instinct. You're not going to get many better opportunities or that free in the box to have a shot. He tries to take a touch and it's cleared.
Next corner, Tavernier flights it in near post, comes to Barron, but Danilo takes off his toes, and it's a wayward strike to say the least from the Brazilian. And Barron unhappy because, albeit he's not a renowned goal scorer, but he was certainly more set to take the shot on, and in the end from Danilo it ends up in the Copeland Road stand, and it remains as the 45 minutes ticks around. Rangers 0, Braga 0.
I mean, if Danilo scored for there, he's up for the Puskás Award along with Scott McTominay at the end of the season. He's running towards his own goal. He tries to do a 180 and try and generate all the pace that he possibly can for 25 yards out when Conor Barron's stepping onto it. Again, it's another half decent opportunity for Rangers. I certainly think they've been much better in the last 10-15 minutes of the first half. Yeah, for sure. Potential penalty check. Well, it is a penalty check for a potential handball, and actually the referee's coming across, and must admit that completely escaped my attention. I'm not sure anyone else saw it either, but VAR spotted something, and across comes the referee, Allard Linthout, the Dutch official, to have a look, and we're seeing it on the monitor now, and that looks like it's going to be given. You would think, Andy? Well, you, me and 45,000 others never seen it in real time, and I suppose that's what VAR's brought in for. And it's only took us one replay to see that the arm's outstretched. It diverts it to the edge of the box, and Rangers are going to get, by the looks of it, a lifeline out of nothing. The handball, penalty kick to Rangers in first half stoppage time. Well, they've certainly upped their performance in the last quarter of an hour, and they could be about to get their award. And you've got to imagine it's going to be the captain, James Tavernier, who, as I mentioned, has broken a Europa League record in terms of appearances for one team this evening. And now he's got the chance to go level with Ali McCoist
in terms of European goals for the club if he can put Rangers in front here. Aberdeen have scored in the closing stages of the first half at Pittodrie. 1-0 they lead Noah, but with just 30 seconds of stoppage time, or the originally allotted stoppage time, Rangers have a penalty for a handball spotted by VAR, verified by the referee, and now Tavernier against Hornacek. In the last few moments of this first period has the chance to also give Rangers the advantage against Braga in the Europa League. Away to our right hand side, the Copeland Road crowd baying behind Lucas Hornacek. It's Tavernier, usually so reliable from the spot. Looks cool, looks composed as ever. Steps up, James Tavernier sends the keeper the wrong way and gives Rangers the lead on the stroke of half-time from 12 yards out, and by doing so draws level on 21 goals with the Rangers legend Ali McCoist in terms of European goals. It is Rangers 1, Braga 0.
It's him again, it's that talisman at right back, James Tavernier. No, the amount of penalties he's took, you're always confident that he can do it, especially in these big occasions. He's done it so many times before. And nothing better when you see Hornacek, the goalkeeper, diving the wrong way. It doesn't need to be perfect in the corner, but it doesn't matter, it hits the back of the net all the same. What a great time for Rangers to score.
Let's get to Tyrone Smith, who's at Pittodrie.
Yeah, we're deep in the first half added time here at Pittodrie, where the score is Aberdeen 1, FC Noah 0. It was great play down the left-hand side by Topi Kiskin, and he fizzed the low ball across to Kevin Nisbet, and he did really, really well to find space, then turn and shoot to fire the ball low into the net to make it Aberdeen 1, FC Noah 0.
Great stuff, Tyrone, thanks very much. Kevin Nisbet on the score sheet there. James Tavernier from the spot here as Rangers have to just defend their own box for a moment or two before half-time, as they do get it cleared up to Chermiti. Danilo can't keep it though, and Braga might get a chance here on the right hand side to create something as they look for an equaliser. Having started the game the better side, here they come. Oh, that's a poor challenge by Diamondi. He's going to go into the book here, and he gives Braga the free kick from about 25 yards out, right hand side. And this is a chance in the what will probably be the 5th minute of added on time by the time it's taken. A chance of an equaliser.
I think we see that far too often for Diamandi Alistair. He's too rash, he's never going to win there. He slides in, he dives in. Not too dissimilar to what we've seen at Genk at the start of the season when he gets sent off in this competition. It's a fantastic opportunity for Braga, and especially for somebody like João Moutinho, Ricardo Horta or Salazar's quality.
Yeah, they've got a few candidates, don't they? It is the duo of Salazar and Horta who are over it right now. As Jack Butland lines up his wall right on the edge of the penalty area, which tells you the free kick is about 28 yards from goal. And Braga looking to immediately restore parity. Salazar, the right footer, stepping up. It is he who hits it straight off the wall. Comes back to Arian B, but it's gone all the way through to Jack Butland, and that'll be that for the first half. And Rangers, having begun to pose a threat in the final 15 minutes or so of that first half, eventually got the breakthrough. It was a penalty awarded by the referee for a handball spotted by VAR, missed by just about everyone else. But the referee had a quick look at it and decided it was indeed a penalty, and James Tavernier, as he so often has for this club, stepped up, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way to make the half-time scoreline. Rangers 1, Braga 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland. Well, could it come to pass? 3 Scottish victories in Europe is on the cards right now. Earlier on in the Europa League, Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3. Celtic were behind in that game. Very good performance from Martin O'Neill's side. We'll hear from the Celtic manager later in the programme. We'll be joined by a Celtic fan, Tom English, putting forward the proposition: should Martin O'Neill stay We'll discuss that a little later as well. We'll get the guys' thoughts. Rangers 1, Braga 0. James Tavernier with a penalty right on the stroke of half-time. Earlier on, Jack Butler and a couple of great saves from him. And let's get to the Conference League now. Up at Pittodrie, Aberdeen at home to Armenian side Noah. Let's hear from Willie Miller and Thomas Duncan.
Well, the hero here in the first half is Kevin Nisbet. I mentioned at the top he'd gone 14 games in an Aberdeen shirt without a goal, and he has ended that goal drought, and he did it just on the stroke of half-time to break the deadlock. It was a really well-worked goal. Diagonal in behind for Topi Keskinen to chase. He showed really good strength, out-muscled the defender on the byline. He then picked out Nisbet, who had a lot of work to do. He had his back to goal. He controlled it as he spun the defender and then sent the goalkeeper the wrong way with a lovely reverse finish. Until that point, in truth, it wasn't much of a game. It was fairly insipid stuff, pretty low tempo from both sides, barely any chances. Adil Aushish had a little half chance in the opening couple of minutes, but never really got hold of it. Keskinen had a shot blocked from distance, and Carlson put in a really good free kick to the back post, which was begging to be attacked, but no one in red got near it in the end. And as for Noah, they haven't offered a great deal. They'd looked fairly solid defensively until the breakthrough from Kevin Nisbet. The only real opportunity was Grigic had a shot which was comfortably saved from Mitov, and then Ferreira had a free kick after the Aberdeen goal, just the last action of the half really. Mitov managed to get across and save it and turn it behind for a corner. So far so good for Aberdeen, Willie Miller.
Yeah, Aberdeen haven't been tested that much, and Noah haven't really put them under any pressure. There's certainly been no intense pressure. There's been very few attacks that has caused the Aberdeen defence anything to think about at all. So Aberdeen dominating the ball, although not very many chances being made, and certainly Aberdeen still, with plenty of possession. But when they get into that final third, they haven't been able, up until the last few minutes of that game, when they haven't been able to create opportunities, and Kevin Nisbet hasn't been looking like a player that is going to come alive in the box, but he certainly did in the last few minutes of the first half. And Topi Keskinen did extremely well, gets forward so well, Keskinen, but normally and invariably the quality of the pass is not good enough. On this occasion, he gets his head up, he picks out Nisbet. Nisbet's still got a lot to do. He's towards the near post, he's maybe 8 yards out, something like that. He takes the touch, across his body to get onto his right foot and away from the goal, but then he burrows and he gives the goalkeeper the eye, and he puts it into the near post, low and hard, to give Aberdeen what is a very deserved lead at half-time. Not too many chances created, I would have to say. Mitov had a fabulous save from the free kick just before half-time. A free kick, in my opinion, that shouldn't have been given anyway. The Aberdeen goalkeeper coming to the rescue, touching it round just as a half-time whistle went. But Aberdeen, I think, deserved at half-time. 1-0 up.
Yeah, they've gone 7 games in a row, Aberdeen scoring 1 goal or fewer since they thumped Dundee here at Pittodrie 4-0, Kenny. If they go 8 and keep the door shut at the other end, it might be enough, but I think the fans here at Pittodrie would fancy a few more in the second half.
Good stuff. Thanks to Willie and to Thomas. An Aberdeen fan who's at the game tonight will join us later in the programme. We'll hear, of course, from Jimmy Tilleen, his post-match media conference. Tom English and Billy Dodds alongside me in the studio. Billy, we've got both games coming in, just perfectly described by the guys here at Pittodrie. It was a really nice finish from Kevin Nisbet, and one you feel he really needed.
Yeah, he needed it, and hopefully he'll go on to have the second half of the season he had last year, because he really kicked on when he started scoring a couple of goals, and then the confidence come back. It was, Tom has got it spot on. I mean, it's so strong from Keskinen, just sprints after it, shoulder charge, comes away with the ball, and it's a lovely pick out. And he has got so much to do, because his touch, he takes it and then he spins round, he's back to goal and then turns, and you think from the position he's in, he's going to play it across the goalkeeper to the goalkeeper's left, and he just reverses it and does the goalkeeper with the eyes. So a really, really good finish from Kevin Nisbet, a brilliant all-round goal from Aberdeen to put them ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, looking very good for them. As I say, we'll hear from Jimmy Tilleen after the game at Pittodrie this evening. We're on to 11 o'clock on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll hear from all 3 managers of the Scottish clubs, and we'll be joined by a fan from each of the clubs. Also interesting to hear what they have to say later on, Tom, watching the Rangers game come into the studio here, hearing the commentary from Al and Andy at Ibrox, they were under a fair bit of pressure for long spells there. Braga look a decent side, and on a couple of occasions Butland bailed them out.
He did, yeah. He's made a couple of very important saves, and for a long time in that half, Rangers really didn't exist as an attacking force. They had no shot on target. They had precious few touches in the Braga box, and all of a sudden the penalty drops out of the sky, and they're in the lead. And and the crowd, I would imagine, is pretty raucous. And what would have been, I would imagine, again, a pretty tense atmosphere, has now flipped. Braga are under pressure. They'll probably feel a little bit aggrieved that they're behind, but they are behind. And it's all looking good for Rangers. They'll have that confidence. Let's see if they can build on that now. It'd be a hell of a win if they were to pull this off. Similarly, Aberdeen. I'm so glad, Kenny, I went for 3 Scottish wins earlier on. Dodgy, I'm so happy I went for that. Because it's
You're probably
really
giving
good.
it a kiss of death now.
My prediction is looking really good right now.
I mean, we spoke before the game about the changes that Danny Röhl made to the side tonight. Max Aarons was a surprise, I think it's fair to say.
Yes.
What have you made of the performance?
They struggled to start with, and Hort had a couple of great chances. They did go with a back four. I was so surprised to see it, I've got to be honest. Just by how, and I was only judging it because of how poor the two central defenders were on Saturday against Livy. But anyway, they go with the 4. I don't think Braga's been at their best, but they still get 2 times where they get through, and Jack Butland does what Jack Butland does in European nights and has to make a couple of big saves, and that's kept him in it. Then they have a wee spell of pressure, don't they, Tom, where I wouldn't say it was like backs to the wall stuff for Braga, but put them under a bit of pressure. Danilo had an unbelievable chance where the one thing about him, he's a good finisher, but he was pretty timid with that one. He usually finds the corners once Diamandi sets him up, but he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. Then Barron and Gassama combined to let Tavernier have a strike over the bar, and then there was a penalty shout as well, and then eventually they got one where even Andy and Al didn't see it, and they were at the game. Nobody saw it, but Navarro, he was timid as well, because you've got to be brave in that front area for Braga with the ball coming in, out swinging corner, and he just leads with his arm. He doesn't see it, but his arm's out, and he just kind of arms it away, elbows it away, and quite right to give the penalty, and then Tavernier sticks it away. So good for Rangers, because they haven't been at their best. They've been organised, and they lead 1-0.
The lads were talking about a chance for Chermiti, came over at the back post there. It wasn't really, it was a tough chance. I know they've probably only seen it once. We've seen it a number of times.
Slightly behind them, yeah.
Slightly behind him. It's not a big chance, that one. So
What
I feel
about
a bit
the-
sympathy for him there?
The centre of that defence, Tom, we were in here on Saturday and they were awful, and it's more of the same thing, just a couple of chances flashing up there, just too easy to get through.
Yeah, they are. I'm not a Giga fan, as you know. But look, they're missing Cornelius, they're missing Suter, they're missing their top 2 centre halves. That's going to be hard for anybody if you take those 2 out. So they're surviving, mainly thanks to Jack Butland. But if Braga, if Rangers now or if they start dropping deep, if they try and defend the 1-0, I think they're in trouble, because I don't think this defence is good enough to withstand Braga coming at them in waves. So they have to be brave, and they have to, within reason, not recklessly, go after a second goal, because I think if they sit back, they're going to invite trouble onto themselves, and they're going and eventually Butland is not going to bail them out.
It's weird with centre halves who have a mistake in them, because when it comes to big games, they suddenly focus a bit more. And I'm not saying they've been totally focused tonight, but they look pretty comfortable. They don't look as bad. They were all over the place against Livy.
They've been cut open a couple of times tonight, the Billy.
Yes, I know, but that's midfield runners, and one of them came from a kind of wide area.
Right.
When they get through, it was switched from the other side, and then the cross ball to put the runner through. They have been more solid than they were Saturday, because big games, they probably know we can't take it easy, have a cigar out and just play nice and easy football. We must concentrate. It's Europe for 90 minutes, so they look a bit more switched on. Hopefully they can hold on.
And I mean, Giga is less of a concern, albeit they paid a hefty loan fee. He is a loan player. Fernandez is a concern, isn't it, that there's been a significant investment there? What do you see in him?
Well, you look at the profile of the player. He's obviously a really big boy. He's played a few games down south and he looks fairly composed on the ball, but I think the big thing, I think it was Dozzy just mentioned there, it seems to be more that mental side of the game, where it be a lapse of concentration or almost being a little bit too overconfident at times. I've got to say, I think for the most part tonight he's been fairly comfortable. I don't think Rangers as a whole have been overly tested other than that sort of 10-15 minute period at the middle of the half. But I don't think there's any doubt throughout the season. I think Rangers have struggled in both boxes, whether that be the centre half pair or whoever's played at the top end of the pitch. And we mentioned John Souttar, we mentioned Derek Cornelius, who I don't think any doubt are the chosen starting pair in the centre half. But I think either of them as well. John Souttar, I'm a huge fan of, but I think his own personal form has suffered at times this season. But what I will say, I think the two boys just now, Manny Fernandez and Nasser Giga, have obviously got the jersey just now through sort of default, and given the sort of mid to long term injuries for Cornelius and John Souttar, it's an opportunity for them to make the position their own.
Andy, a huge game for your club this coming Saturday at home to Hearts. I want to have a discussion on the programme on Saturday about your manager Jens Bertolascu. Can you just tell us what makes him right now what appears a really good manager, and that change of shape that he had against Hibs, how that was so effective, how quickly, how much work you do in that, how easy it is to implement that change?
Well, it's interesting, Kenny. Unfortunately, I'm injured at the minute, so when you're injured, you're not in the meetings in the morning, whether it be the pre-match meeting or the tactical analysis meeting on Monday morning. So it wasn't actually until I think it was Tuesday at maybe 12 o'clock midday that I found out we were playing a back five, and I must admit I raised a couple of eyebrows myself, given how much praise we've been given for our shape and our style of play and how much we've dominated games of football. So I found it really surprising at that given time that we were changing for that specific game. But then boys started to filter in a couple of ideas he had within that. I think you mentioned himself post-match what a couple of the instances were. And for me, to be honest with you, Kenny, it was amazing to see it come to fruition for the stands, because it felt like everything he sort of spoke about, everything he sort of worked on, that he felt as if could not only restrict Hibs in possession but hurt them out of possession. You've got to say it worked to absolute perfection. Has he got a real clarity of message, Andy? Yeah, he does, and and to be fair, I think everyone can pretty much see a lot of the stuff he's trying to implement, and I don't think it's controversial to say it's out with the norm in Scotland, specifically with a club like Motherwell with the budget we've got. But I mean, for me, I think I feel really lucky at this age, when I've got one eye on the kind of coaching side of things, and to have someone with such a completely different philosophy and style that I've ever been used to. I think it's brilliant for me to kind of learn off, and I'm continuously saying to young players that you never know when you get an opportunity to work with someone that's again. So be a sponge, take as much information as you possibly can, and I think it's going to be an absolutely terrific game to watch this Saturday. We all remember the game at Tynecastle where it was an absolute clinic, to be honest with you, for 60 minutes, 3-0 up before Hearts showed their quality and brought it back to 3 each. I think the beauty is everyone knows what to expect going into Saturday. Derek McInnes probably playing man for man, and Motherwell try to build out for the back, so I think it's going to be a cracker. Fantastic, can't wait. Thanks to the guys here at Ibrox for a choice of listening once again on BBC Radio Scotland for Rangers against Braga. Stick with us on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds, and for Aberdeen's Conference League match against Noah, tune to BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave and extra on BBC Sounds, and both are live online, bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Ibrox. We're just about to get back underway, and the visitors have made a change at the interval with Amin El Wazani coming on up front for Fran Navarro, who was one of the less influential teams. Look at this, Andy. I'm just looking at the coach, Carlos Vicente. So he was very, very animated there, trying to get he's swapped his back three about as well. Not personnel changes as such, but they had obviously not followed out the instruction that he'd asked them, and he was vociferously gesturing there to get them to swap. So you've got, I think it's RMB is across on the left-hand side now, Niakati's central, and Lagerbielke's right-hand side, and the personnel changes, as I mentioned, El Wazani on for Navarro. But Rangers unchanged, we're back underway, and let's see what Rangers can make of this second period with that one-goal lead, something they haven't enjoyed in the Europa League so far. Diamondi has gone down, and Rangers are going to get the free kick here. Horta again complaining that there was an earlier challenge from Chermiti that should have been punished, but I don't think so, having looked at the referee, looked at the replay there. The Braga bench aren't happy either, but the fourth official is trying to calm them down at the moment. But I think it's El Wazani who's immediately taken the knock from Chermiti's challenge. There will be Rangers who get the free kick. It was one of those ones, Andy, on the follow-through. Chermiti slid in like completely on the ground, when it was the follow-through that eventually caught El Wazani. But sometimes you just can't help making contact, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a foul.
Yeah, it's that old-fashioned, debate that we always have. Where can your foot go when you make a motion for the ball and you're sliding along like that? We touched on it in the first half. It was a great time for Rangers to score that goal. Braga have reacted. They've made a change at half-time. Doesn't seem like a whole, in terms of a tactical change, it looks a bit more personnel with a like for like, striker for striker. Rangers kick off with the left the end of the first half? Because you've got to say, I think that 10-15 minutes at the end of the first half, I thought Rangers came into it.
Yeah, absolutely. El Wazani limping off here. He's not happy, but I think he'll be fine to continue as he just runs that off. But it will be, as I say, a Rangers free kick to restart. He's now having a word with the fourth official, is El Wazani, about the Chermiti challenge. But we're back underway. El Wazani's back on the field of play, and it's still Rangers 1, Braga 0. A couple of minutes gone in this second period as Giga has it into Barron. Another quick pass, just gets away with that to Tavernier. Tavernier actually did well, and then he's clipped it forward looking for Chermiti. Keeper's out of his box, gets his head to it. In comes Diamondi trying to get to the second ball. Couldn't quite get there, and it's hacked clear. But Rangers looking to try and get a second goal, but Barron's given it away to Salazar in the middle of the park, and now it's picked up by Horta. Diamondi just having to pull out a challenge there because he's already been booked, and that was something he'll have to be wary of, as Gassama now picks up right hand side for Rangers, driving at the back line. RMB is with him, so too Martinez. Down goes Gassama in the end, and it's I think simply going to be a goal kick in the end. He just run it out of play and then rather threw himself to the ground, and it will be a Braga goal kick. 1-0 Rangers then. Lagerbielke into Gorby, and then back to the goalkeeper, and now it's Niakati still inside his own penalty area. 1-0 Rangers, 1-0 Aberdeen, and 3-1 earlier to Celtic against Feyenoord, as Moutinho plays it to Niakati. Out from the back he comes, up towards Salazar. Salazar gets it back once more on the halfway line, spreads play out to Victor Gomez, right hand side. Braga looking for a leveller early on in this second half. Back to Lagerbielke, but 10 yards inside the Rangers half. Salazar forward to Gorby, out to the right to Gomez once more, and now back with Lagerbielke. Moutinho just inside the Rangers half, back to the right hand side to Gorby, young midfielder who's impressive at Celtic Park, one of the few who started that one, the young Frenchman. Back it comes to Gomez, right hand side, feeds it forward to Horta, out to the right it comes off a Rangers player, and out for a throw-in to Braga as they look to start the second half as they did the first, when they put Rangers under a fair bit of pressure, made Butland work pretty heavily in the early stages. Gomez into Gorby and back to Lagerbielke. Danny Rule and Carlos Vicens again out on the edge of their respective technical areas. It's gone out of play for a Rangers throw in this time. What do you reckon Danny Rule's message would have been at half-time, given that Rangers probably did have the better of that latter stage of the first period? Is it just kind of more of the same almost?
Certainly more of the same of that sort of last 10-15 minutes. I was wondering if he was going to adjust something specifically on this left-hand side that we spoke a bit about in the first half. At this moment in time, doesn't look too much. I think the big question I've got just now is how much is that yellow card that Mohamed Diamande playing in his mind? He's played a really aggressive role in João Moutinho so far, not allowing easy touches of the ball to dictate the game. I think that aggression's been almost taken away from him for that early yellow card. So does that play in his mind for the first sub?
Braga free kick for a barge by Chermiti on Lagerbielke, which is taken. Niakate plays it forward to Horta, who tries to help it on to Moutinho. There's a shot pull in there that the referee spotted, and a Braga free kick. 50 on the clock, 1-0 Rangers in this Europa League match. On a blustery late November evening, Rangers looking to get their first victory of the campaign. Lagerbielke has to go back the way. Moutinho clips it out to the right hand side. Down the right it goes from Gomez. Fernandes got to it, but forward again it comes from Braga, looking to impose their style of play on Rangers once more. Into the feet of El Wazani, tries to spin away from Fernandes, hits the deck, nothing given as it's played forward to Danilo on this left hand side. He's very deep and he's struggling to get the ball forward. Aaron's trying to help him out, but it's picked up by Braga once more as Gorby plays it back to the halfway line to Lagerbielke. Gorby once more under pressure from Diamande. Chermiti will go and chase that. The keeper's well out of his goal. It's not a great clearance, high up in the air. Moutinho can't kill it. Even someone of his class couldn't bring that under control given the conditions, but it does break back to Lagerbielke midway inside his own half. It's not ideal conditions certainly for playing this controlled football out from the back, and it's the misplaced passes can invite the opposition onto you, but here they've got it out to the right hand side to Gomez. Aaron's with him, back in field he comes, the Spanish wing back into Gorby. Lagerbielke again available. Then Moutinho forward, 1-2 doesn't come off. Danilo picks up on the halfway line, thought he might lift his head and see the goalkeeper at the edge of his penalty area, but instead he plays it forward to Gassama right hand side, drives it across goal. Chermiti tried to flick it, Danilo couldn't wrap his boot round it, he was challenged, and the referee now is giving a free kick to Braga for Danilo catching the boot of Moutinho in there. Well, it was a challenge Moutinho had to make, and Rangers certainly causing problems there, but couldn't turn that into a second goal. Remains 1-0 Rangers.
Well, initially I'd love to have seen Jedi Gassama take his first touch initially towards the centre half and really commit him into a 1v1 situation. That being said, he cuts it back to Yusuf Chermiti. Well, when you seen that little ricochet there and it was falling to Danilo, I was just expecting the goalkeeper to be tested or the net to ripple, but excellent for the Braga midfielder to recover and win the free kick for his side.
Yeah, it was Moutinho who belied his 39 years there to win it back. There's been another goal at Pitorgi. We'll cross there in just a moment as Rangers come forward here. It's Raskan at the edge of the box. Can he get the shot off? Well, he's neither a shot nor a cross really there from the Belgians. Still in play though. The wind's kept it in and it's been given away almost by R.A.M.B. and then he just manages to hack it out to the left hand side. But Braga themselves don't look altogether composed at the back, especially with the conditions, but now they're countering Rangers. Forward they come. We'll cross to Pitorgi in just a moment, but it's Gorby leading the attack out to Gomez, right hand side up against Aarons, edge of the Rangers penalty area, just knocks it back here. Slid out to the right hand side to Gorby, crossing opportunity, well blocked by a combination of Barron and Aarons. Gorby still has it though, he's kept it in. Back to Lagerbielke it comes. Flicked forward by Gorby once more. Gomez loses out to Aarons, and Barron will pick up just outside his own penalty area, feeds it forward. Chermiti will go and chase it. R.A.M.B. directs it back to the goalkeeper, who's just at the edge of his box, plays it out to Lagerbielke. Midway inside his own half. This game, you feel, could still go either way. Lagerbielke, though, plays it into a dangerous area. Raskan cuts it out, but again, Braga pick up on the loose ball, and it's out to Gomez. Gomez, right-hand side, slides it forward. Good ball here for Gabriel Martinez, who switched flanks there, but Fernandes just uses his strength to hold him off behind for a goal kick. It's 1-0 Rangers here after 54.5 minutes. Let's cross to Pitorgi to see how the scoreline stands now.
Yes, and it's now Aberdeen 1, FC Noah 1. It was an equaliser for the visitors. It was the ball that was swung in from the right-hand side, and it was Nardin Milisinovic. He was on hand. A lovely diving header. He threw himself at the ball. They powered it into the back of the net here at Pittodrie, where it's now Aberdeen 1, FC Noah 1.
Thanks, Tyrone. Poor clearance from Hornacek there. Falls to Gassama. Gassama now running at the back line into the penalty area. Comes, checks back onto the left foot. Barron wants it. Still it's Gassama. Decent looking challenge from RMB to dispossess him, and then he just knocks it behind for a corner, not want to take any chances.
It's where he's at his best, Jedi Gassama, getting 1v1. I think he does the right thing by cutting back, and I was just wondering, can he just set James Tavernier for a shot at the edge of the box? Well, that being said, he retains the ball and forces RMB to put it out for a corner for Rangers. I think Rangers have had opportunities to punish Braga for set pieces. They obviously get the penalty in the first half, or can they get first contact here?
Well, it's Tavernier away out to the right-hand side to take this one. The scorer of the only goal so far this evening. 10 minutes played in this second period. Rangers still lead by a goal to nil as they did at half-time, thanks to their captain's penalty and injury time. It's a loaded box for Rangers. Tavernier, can he pick out a teammate as it sends it in? It's Fernandes who leaps highest, but he can only flick the ball out to this left-hand side. Barron's there to retrieve it though, into Danilo in the angle of the box. What could he provide here? Sends it back, it's a great ball in. Rangers can't turn it in. Lagerbielke makes a clearance, comes to the edge of the box, saved by Hornacek from Gassama, and then cleared by Gomez as Rangers continue to press. It's kept in by Barron. He'll swing it back in. Rangers trying to make first contact on that one. Raskan gets the header in. It's sent behind. The referee's pointed for a corner. There's going to be a yellow card for Ricardo Horta for his protest. It did look like it was Raskan who got his head to it ultimately, and Braga surviving there by the skin of their teeth.
I don't even know which one out of the three they should score. They get 3 opportunities in the space of a minute. I think Danilo does great in the first instance to take it down the left-hand side, put it at the back post for Chermiti. The ball gets recycled twice. Gassama gets a shot for edge of the box, comes out to Conor Barron. I thought when Conor Barron swings it in, I thought Nico Raskin was in prime position just to make the goalkeeper work, but it seems as if the last touch came off the Braga defender. It's another corner for Rangers.
From the left-hand side this time, will be an in-swinger from Tavernier, and it comes, and the referee spotted something. Oh, that's a surprise.
How many times do you see that?
Given that it was a contentious corner awarded, he's somehow spotted something inside the penalty area and awards an immediate free kick to Braga. I think, in fairness, justice was probably done there as Braga now tries to come forward. Raskan is not the man who's penalised actually. It's Barron for a previous challenge, and he's going to be yellow carded for it. And it's getting a little bit tousy out there. Rangers got to make sure they keep their discipline, because what happened there? I was glancing down to...
It looked as if there was an altercation in the middle of the pitch between Salazar and Nico Raskin. Nico Raskin's on the floor, he's holding his face.
I was putting my yellow cards in for Barron and Horta as Raskin hit the deck there. Salazar walking away rather sheepishly. Let's see. Well, there's a motion towards Raskan's face with his head. Difficult from that angle, Andy, to see if there was any contact.
Yeah, so we've got the angle from behind Nico Raskin. It's the old-fashioned one. You see that Salazar puts his head towards Nico Raskin. I don't think there's any doubt. He certainly motions towards the Rangers midfielder. If he makes the contact that Nico Raskin's shown that he made. But I wonder if we'll get a better angle here potentially. But the referee stopped the game either or.
No. The referee is continuing to hold
That's
up.
Madness for Salazar.
I mean,
it's madness.
It's really, really stupid in the day and age of VAR. He must know that he's almost certainly going to be sent off here. Rodrigo Salazar, such a talented player.
Well, do you know what, Alistair? We've seen a couple of angles, and I don't know how much contact's there, but one thing's for sure. The intent is there by Salazar, and I can't believe he's done that and put his team in a very difficult position. Not only the 1-0 down, but I'm fully expecting him to be a man down once the referee has a look at this.
I mean, the angles are not great at all that the referee is being shown, but as you say, the intent's there, and it's not always about the level of contact, it is about the intent as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, even this wide angle, there's nothing conclusive in terms of the amount of contact in it, but the referee's having a good old look at it. But if he's going to base it on how much contact there is, then he probably can't send them off because it's not conclusive. But if it's about the intent, then he's surely got to go.
Yeah, the intent's there. And the crazy thing that we're talking about for Salazar is he's literally gave the referee a decision to make. And, the referee has seen a couple of angles now. He's turned round to speak to his officials, I think, before he has another look. I think the Braga players are surrounding the screen. They're trying to make it difficult for him, but I think he's going to watch it. He's going to make his own judgment. And for me, I think the red card's going to come out.
Let's see, on he comes once more. He's made the television screen. He's going for his back pocket. Salazar's going to go. He applauds the referee sarcastically as he makes way. And he has shown a red card, Rodrigo Salazar, the Uruguayan international. And that is sheer folly from him, reducing his side to 10 men. And he's made their task all the more difficult. Again, we're seeing the incident between himself and Nico Raskin, who had fouled him. He'd been given the foul already, Salazar. Then they came together. And as I say, regardless of the amount of contact, the intent is there from Salazar. And he is off. And Braga down to 10, trying to claw back a 1-0 advantage that Rangers holds with 61 on the clock.
A moment of sheer stupidity for a guy that we spoke about being a potential key player for Braga this evening. We spoke about how much a key players they two are in this system for Braga. It'll be very interesting to see how they try and combat that, but you certainly put yourself in a difficult position.
Back it goes to Hornacek. So Rangers will never have a better opportunity to see out their first Europa League victory of the season. Already leading by a 1-0 and now up against 10 men for the last half hour of the game. Can they take advantage of that extra man? It's back just inside their own half with Giga. Fernandez now gets it from Raskin, crossing the halfway line. Danilo makes the run ahead of him, but it's left to Barron. Barron just pokes it back to Fernandez once more. Square for Tavernier. Back it goes to Fernandez once more. And then out to the right-hand side, where Raskin's popped up, and he pops it out to Gassama on that right flank. Gassama slides it forward for the continuing run of Raskin, who takes it to the byline, but he just can't quite cut it back before it runs out of play, and it will be a goal kick to Braga, who were going to make, I think, a double change, but they were held up. In fact, they're still going to make a double change. It might not be the exact same ones as they were planning to before the dismissal, but it's Grilic certainly down there, who is one of the players who's about to come on, and tell you shortly who the other is, as the ball's back in play with Aarons. Aarons, good ball forward for Barron. Barron just leaves it to Danilo. He tries a crossfield ball which is blocked, but then gets the pass back to Barron instead. Barron plays it square. It's another chancy pass, but it finds its way to Tavernier, who in turn finds Chermiti out to the right hand side. Now Gassama leaves Martinez for dead into the area. Well, Diamonde didn't make it. The referee has blown though for a free kick against Gassama. I didn't see anything amiss there, I have to say, but referee clearly didn't get another look at it. It's not wouldn't be the first time, I believe.
I mean, he
brushes him with the elbow, but I don't think he doesn't make a motion with the elbow towards him, does he?
Yeah, it seems as if he's trying to keep him at arm's length and get his body in front of the defender and try to push him off to create that bit of separation. And no, you've got to say Gabi Martez has blocked it from the referee.
Keeper's down again as well. Hornacek, as if there's something on perhaps his left calf. He's pulling his left boot back. Meanwhile, Grilic is preparing to come on. It might just be the single change for the moment as the Austrian international prepares to come on, and there's some, well, it could be a tactical injury from the keeper here, because Braga are coming across en masse to get instructions from various coaches here on the sideline.
I think you're spot on it, Alistair. I think this has maybe been a little bit of information that's came for the side, telling Hornacek to you hit the deck, you see all 9 Braga players convening on the touchline, getting loads of information for the staff. I wonder if it's going to be a potential change of shape. He's trying to get as much information on as he possibly can. But again, I think Rangers have started again this second half really well. I think they've looked really dangerous anytime they've switched play out to Gassama on that right hand side. I'm sure that Danny Rule will be looking at his bench soon to see anyone can freshen up and add even more attacking impetus to Rangers.
Grealish is going to come on for João Moutinho, the legendary Portuguese midfielder. He's done it all in the game. Won the Euros. He's represented Monaco, Porto, Sporting and now Braga, but he's going to make way here for Florian Grealish, the Austrian international, as miraculously Lukas Hornacek has recovered from whatever was ailing him. And so it will be a free kick to Braga, just on the edge of their own penalty area. We've got 65 minutes on the clock, and still Rangers 1 at Braga 0 as the wind continues to howl here around Ibrox. Tavernier gets his head to the free kick, plays it forward to Danilo. Now it's Diamonde looking to release Chermiti. Niakate there just ahead of him, plays it out to the right hand side. It's going to stay in play again. The wind coming into play as Gassama picks up, tries to fire it across into the penalty area. It comes off the defender and behind for another corner to Rangers. 66 on the clock, 1-0 they lead, looking to add to their advantage while they're up against 10 men.
It's all in the first pass by Danilo, progressive, playing forward. Rangers try to spring into attack down that right hand side. Again, not everything's came off for him, but Jedi Gassama has looked extremely dangerous on that right hand side. Looks as if he's going to be that main creative spark. Good opportunity for Rangers to get the second.
Tavernier from the right hand side, out swinger just over Chermiti, headed out to the edge of the box and then helped on as Aarons. That's a strange swipe at the ball there, and it's going to be picked up here by Gabri Martinez. Gabri Martinez homing in on goal. Aarons and Barron both recover to thwart him as Aarons holds up his hands in acknowledgement of his rather strange attempt at a pass. He just swiped the ball high in the air and Braga broke, but Martinez coming forward from wing back couldn't quite get away from Aarons and Barron, and Rangers recover, and it's still 1-0 with a quarter of the game to go.
I just wonder how much the wind played its part there. Alistair come from extremely high height. It seems as if he kind of misjudged the flight of it, but he recovered well. I thought him and Conor Barron snuffed out the danger. Just a little warning sign for Rangers. This Braga side are still dangerous regardless of 10 men. They need to keep their concentration.
Yeah, well, Rangers have got plenty of subs warming up down away to our right at the corner flag as Danny Rule, as Andy says, probably considering a change or two. And it's Fernandez nodding it behind for a corner kick, is it? Or has Butland somehow managed to keep that in? If he has, he's done incredibly well. I think it's going to be a throw-in. I've got no idea how Butland made up the ground to keep that in. But Fernandez, again, it's just a little bit of slackness creeping in completely unnecessarily.
I was waiting for the linesman, like you said, to point towards the corner flag, but Jack Buckland's done well to just turn it throw in.
Giga completely misses it. It's an equaliser. It's Martinez. Well, maybe the wind played a part in that as it came into the box, but Giga completely misjudged the flight of the ball, and he could only help it into the path of Martinez. And he guided it past Jack Butland at his near post. And it's now Rangers 1, 10-man Braga 1.
We spoke about it at half-time, Alistair. You're thinking Nasser Gigan. I think one of the biggest criticisms we've got is that mental side. It just seems as if there's these lapses of concentration. It's just a nothing ball into the box. It's looked, there's no striker or no Braga opponent anywhere near him. Completely misjudges the flight of the ball. Glances it onto the back post, and Braga back into this game out of absolutely nothing.
Well, Gabri Martinez, who came on late to score the second goal against Celtic, has got the equaliser here at Ibrox against Rangers. And Braga, who looked up against it, a goal down and a man down, have got themselves back to one each, and Rangers have it all to do again as they look for that elusive first victory in the Europa League. Free kick to Rangers left hand side, just inside the Braga half, but how much slack do you cut Giga, because we do know that it's extremely gusty here, and the ball was kind of looped into the area?
Yeah, again, I just find it difficult to cut him a bit of slack, just given how simple it really did look. I know the wind has played its part tonight, but if you feel as if you can't get a strong contact on it, the last thing you should be doing is then glancing towards the back post. We talked about Braga. We're giving Rangers a warning shot. Well, it's obviously one big chance, then the goal. Both have been completely for Rangers undoing.
Throwing down below us to Braga. The right hand side as Tello Osgar is preparing to come on here for Rangers, their first change of the game, as they look to try and regain the advantage which had been given to them just before half time by James Tavernier from the spot, but they've just lost it to Gabriel Martinez and Braga as Butland hoists it forward, and now down the left hand side comes Danilo up against Lagabilka, coming in off that left hand side, plays it into Raskan midway inside the Braga half, out to Aaron's left hand side. On the right foot he curls it in just over Diamonde, comes off Niakate for a corner to Rangers. Left hand side, 70 on the clock, Rangers 1, Braga 1.
Well, they have to respond. You've got to feel, given their position in the Europa League group phase just now, that a draw's no good enough to them, especially coming up against a team in 10 men like Braga and being 1-0 up. Well, Danny Rule, we questioned when he was going to make that first sub. Who was it going to be? As you said, Tello Asgard's just getting stripped just now.
He's going to make it right now, actually, before the corner. It's Danilo who's making way. And on comes Norwegian international Tello Asgard, who will be hoping to travel to the World Cup with his country, having finished top of their group in very impressive form. Let's see what he can provide in the last 20 minutes or thereabouts as Tavernier swings one to the back post, headed back across, goal, just wide. It was Giga and Fernandez who combined there. Giga almost atoning for the error, but he just glanced the header wide of target, and it remains Rangers 1, Braga 1.
They've been trying to work that back post corner all night, but they've not quite managed to get the delivery right. That time they do. Fernandez again helps it across. Nasser Giga just doesn't quite get enough on it to make Hornacek work. But we've seen a couple of replays just now. Alistair, you look at Max Aaron's harsh clearance at the halfway line, Manny Fernandez with a simple back pass header towards Butland, and then obviously the mistake for Giga. We talked about them needing to keep their concentration regardless of coming up against 10 men. 3 scenarios in the space of 2 minutes where they made life difficult for themselves.
Aaron's back deep in his own half, but he's done well initially, at least against Elwazani, then almost loses out, and Barron has to come in and help, and it's out for a throw into Braga. We've got 17 and a half minutes left of the 90, plus a bit of added on time, as Braga look to certainly a draw, given the situation they found themselves in, would be a good result for them, albeit I'm sure they came to Glasgow looking for the 3 points, and it's still not beyond them, you start to say, despite being down to 10 men. But Rangers, having been goal up and a man to the good for half an hour of this game, they really should be making more of the running here at Ibrox, as Asgard picks up in the middle of the park, tries to step away from a couple of challenges but fails to do so. Then Gorby gets it to Horta, who tries to lift it over Tavernier, who does well though to cut it out, and now Rangers perhaps can come forward, and it's Chermiti getting it from Gassama. He tried to help it on for Tavernier, but it's a poor pass in the end and played forward, but Barron's done exceptionally well again in the middle of the park to keep a hold of the ball, and then gets it out to Gassama right hand side. Infield he comes, Gassama, and driving forward out to the left hand side is Aarons if he wants him. Here he is now, Max Aarons, left hand side, always wants it on the right foot, back out to Gassama, who's moving over to the left hand side for the moment, gets towards the byline, sends it back post, up goes the head from Tavernier, but straight to the keeper. And on 74 minutes, it's still Rangers 1, Braga 1.
Well, it's Shedi Gassama that picks up the ball again on the right hand side, and as he's cutting across again, no width for Rangers on the left hand side. So what does he decide to do? He decides to do it himself, finds himself on the left hand side, drags it down the line, puts in a lovely cross, but again a difficult one for James Tavernier to generate pace on it, and it's an easy take for Hornacek.
Rangers pick up on the halfway line. It is Tavernier into Diamond. It's a good ball. He gets turned. He leaves it for Barron. Out to the left-hand side for Aarons, who comes forward once more from left back. Cuts in field. Then touches it back to Barron once more. Rangers player down on the edge of the box. Off the ball, but Rangers continue in possession. Tavernier helps it in. Chermiti gets his head to it. Oscar will try and get onto the seconds, but he can't reach it. And it was Gassama who's picking himself up from the edge of the box there, having gone down off the ball. Referee saw nothing amiss. Hornacek has gathered. Still 1-1 with a quarter of an hour to go. As Hornacek puts the ball down on the ground inside his penalty area and then plays it to his left to Niakate. And then further out to the left-hand side to the goal scorer Martinez. Back with Hornacek up towards the halfway line. Headed down by Fernandez, but it's not a good header. El Wazani will pick up and find Horta. Horta out to the left-hand side to Martinez once more. He's being pulled back by Tavernier, who's having a bit of a go there at Gassama for perhaps not tracking back as much as he wants him to. 75.5 played here, 1-1.
Danny Rule looking he's benched again. Bojan Miovski's just been called in for his warm-up to get himself readied. So how's that look? Does Schmidt come off? Does he go two up front? Well, like he says, they're drawing no good enough for Rangers at this stage.
There's Aarons, or Osgar. Back to Aarons on the halfway line, left-hand side, into Fernandez, and then square to Giga. And out to Tavernier, right-hand side, just inside the Braga half. Forward for Gassama, drops the shoulder and moves away from Martinez, who barges him to the ground. And it will be a free kick and a yellow card for the goal scorer, Gabriel Martinez, who claims it was a shoulder barge, but Gassama had got goal side of him, just as we're about to see the entrance here of Bojan Miovski. A bit of tangle of legs as well there, Andy. I think Gassama just got wrong side of him.
Yeah, Gavin Martinez complaining, but I don't think he's got much to complain about. It's been a good battle between the two. Like I said, not everything comes off with Jerry Gassama, but you can't question his positivity. I've got to say, I'm surprised with that sub. I think Conor Barron's had a really good game for Rangers tonight.
He has, but he's the one who's sacrificed for Bojan Miovski as Rangers commit a more forward-thinking player, I guess. And I suppose we'll go two up front now with Miovski and Chermiti. Here they've got a free kick, right-hand side of the penalty area. It's a really good position, this. We've got 13 of the 90 to play. It's one apiece as Rangers look to regain the lead. Tavernier over the free kick, right-hand side, about 15 yards from the goal line. Oh, the ball's moved just as he stepped up to deliver it, so he's going to have to replace it and reset himself. Here he is then, the Rangers captain, already scored one. Can he provide something here from the right-hand side? He can't beat the one man in the wall. And then there's an infringement inside the box as well that the referee's seen in Braga's favour. And the free kick goes their way. And it remains Rangers 1, Braga 1.
Yeah, James Tavernier, he's never so reliable for these set pieces, but just tonight he's not quite got a few of them right. Again, it was another promising position for a free kick for Rangers, and unfortunate for them, hitting the first man lets Braga reset and get themselves back up the pitch. But Rangers need to find something. Again, it's went a wee bit flat again for them for the last 5-10 minutes. With 13 minutes to go, they have to find some spark to get this winner.
Ball's launched long by Hornacek off the head of Fernandez, out for a throw in this near side as Braga prepare to make another change just shortly by the looks of it. 12 minutes remaining on the clock, plus any added on time. Looks like it's going to be Vitor Carvalho who will come on for the closing stages. He can play at the back as he did, I think, against Celtic, and also in midfield. He's stuck with a kind of three at the back, Braga, despite going down to 10 men. And they've got a throw in here in a pretty advanced area, right-hand side. Will be taken by Victor Gomez. I think he's asking whether the substitution is going to be made before the throw-in. He's trying to delay. The referees tell him to get on with it. Braga want to make the change. Don't think they're going to be allowed to. Here it comes, a throw-in into the Rangers penalty area. Fernandez wins it. Chermiti trying to keep a hold of it under pressure as Lagerbielke. Chermiti's done well, but just couldn't poke the pass away before he was dispossessed. And now it's Martinez picking up once more. He's away from two into the Rangers penalty area. Tries to cut it across goal. Challenged eventually by Tavernier. Tavernier's run into trouble though on that left-hand side for Braga. They try and get it into the Rangers area. El Wazani blocked away by Giga, and Braga pick up once more left-hand side. Gassama battling away, but he can't get a hold of it. Braga continue to keep Rangers hemmed in just for the moment as Gorby gets it out to the left flank, and then back it goes to Niakate, who'll bring it forward from the halfway line. Out to the left once more to Martinez, up against Tavernier, the 2 goal scorers. Martinez past Tavernier into the box. Horta with a big chance here, good block made, and just hacked away again by Giga once more. It was a good challenge as Chermiti goes for the ball there with Lagerbielka, and he's taken down, and in the process slides into Carvalho, and he's hurt himself in the process. He's surrounded by Braga officials as well. Rangers bench coming off to make sure their player isn't being hurt, and it was all a little bit untidy, and in the end we get a chance to make the change here as we...
Well, in the Stramash in the box, Alistair, there was huge appeals for Braga for a penalty kick.
Yeah, it's been checked as well.
Yeah, it was Miovski. I must admit, my initial thoughts was it looked above the t-shirt line. It looks as if he tries to motion his shoulder towards it. I did think it hit his shoulder.
Yeah.
But we'll get a chance to see it again right now as it's breaking out. Ball kind of hits up emotions. I think it's above the t-shirt line. I can't see this being given as a penalty.
Yeah, well, you never quite know until VAR have completed their checks, but certainly high up the arm, but we will wait and see what the Dutch officials make of it. And the referee is indicating a play on, check over, no penalty. Braga unhappy, but they will make the change, and it's going to be Martinez to be replaced by Carvalho, the left wing back. So that might mean a change of shape. We'll just have to wait and see on that front, but Braga just trying to run down the clock at the moment, taking their time over just about everything, and unsurprisingly so, as they look to gain a point that would take them on to 10 from 5 games, which would be a pretty decent haul. Martinez getting the acclaim there as he makes his way onto the bench, and on comes Carvalho, and it looks like they are going to almost a 4 at the back now. Braga, as Rangers have it on the halfway line through Fernandes, tries to get through a couple of challenges, holds them off, but eventually runs into trouble. It'll be played forward. Giga wants Button to come off his line and take that, which he duly does. Gets it to Tavernier, into Raskan, still inside his own half. Plays it forward though on the right hand side, looking for Gassama. He's well marshalled there by RMB, who looks like he's virtually playing now as a left back, as Braga look to hold on for the point. 1-1 it stands, 82.5 on the clock. 1-1 also at Pittodrie between Aberdeen and Noah, as Chermiti goes down with a nudge inside the penalty area. Nothing doing according to the referee, but here's a chance potentially for Diamondi on the edge of the box on the right foot. Didn't get the purchase of the shot. He just slipped almost as he tried to get the shot away. Chermiti stayed down meanwhile, and Hornacek easily able to gather in the end, and it remains Rangers 1, Braga 1.
It's better for Rangers though. The ball gets played into Asgard in that 10 position. He plays a lovely little round the corner for Diamandi. He doesn't quite get the first touch out his feet, and then he chops back onto his favoured right foot and doesn't quite get the contact again, as Yusuf Chermiti is just sheepishly coming back up. We've seen a replay, didn't look like a whole lot in it. I've seen it again, that angle, it's not pretty conclusive, but my initial instance was I didn't think there was all that much contact for the big man.
And it was the substitute Carvalho that made the challenge, but the referees restarted the game, a bounce ball straight to the keeper, so clearly no further action on that challenge on Chermiti. So it's 1 apiece in the closing 6 minutes plus stoppage time, as Rangers have it on the halfway line. Nice bit of control and movement from Osgard, and then he pokes it in field for Diamondi. Diamondi helps it on to Chermiti. Gassama going right off him. Chermiti tries to take the shot on, and well, you can hear the reaction of the fans. It was blocked as Tavernier makes a challenge on the far side. It's going to be a throw into Rangers. I didn't think it was a terrible decision from Chermiti to take the shot on, but he did have options.
He did, but once it got blocked, it looked as if the danger was on when Ricardo Horta going to the loose ball. Seemed as if he tried to buy a foul and the referee wasn't buying it, so it's possession back to Rangers, 30 yards out.
Yeah, here's Oscar out to the left for Aarons. Aarons at the angle of the box now as Rangers look for a potential winner. It crosses half blocked and it'll break here for El Wazani, right hand side. Cross comes Fernandez. Fernandez gets his body in between man and ball, but the referee says unfairly. It looked like he was being pulled back, but the referee disagrees. Oliver Antman's preparing to come on for the last knockings of the game here. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to play as the Finnish winger is getting ready here. Just wait to see who he will replace as it's clipped forward by Lagerbielke from the free kick. El Wazani wins the header and then chases it himself, and then nods it back to Gorby. Breaks back to Lagerbielke. Right hand side is Gorby once more as Braga look to complete the comeback and record the victory themselves.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised to see Oliver Antman getting readied. I think Rangers struggle with natural width on that left hand side all night.
Magoma as well is getting ready.
The only surprise for me, Alistair, it's took this long. It's 5 minutes to go in a game that Rangers really have to win to give themselves any chance of making the last 16 of this Europa League group phase. It's a poor foul for Lasgard.
Yeah, it's a daft one to give away in a decent position here for Braga. Right hand side as they attack. The referee's inviting Rangers to make the changes now. Antman and Magoma. Would you put Antman over on the right hand side and bring Gassama to the left?
Yeah, we've spoke about it. I think that's when he wants to be. He wants that option to cut in his right foot and have a shot at goal. I don't think Oliver Antman's I don't think we've quite seen enough to suggest what his best side is at this moment in time. Jayden Magoma coming off will be a big help as well, being that natural left-footed on the left-hand side. He's someone that likes to get forward.
Rangers have got a bit of defending to do. The changes aren't going to happen yet. The free kick is going to be taken first as Horta flights in from the right-hand side into the penalty area. Rangers trying to get it fully clear. El Wazani though makes the challenge. Rangers have got a free kick foul on Diamondi in there, and I think now the changes will happen. Let's see who's being replaced. Actually, the Rangers have taken the free kick already, so Tavernier brings it forward as Antman and Magoma continue to wait. It's out to the left hand side here for Aarons. Sliding challenge there from Gomez, took enough of the ball for the referee's liking, and now they'll come forward in the counter. El Wazani outside of him. Here he is on the edge of the box, looking to get it back onto the left foot and get the shot away here. It's blocked on the edge by Diamondi. Gorby picks up, poor pass from him for Gassama. He hoists it forward, looking for Chermiti, won by Niakati. Aarons is still down here inside the Braga half, and now the referee will stop play. He might well have been about to be replaced anyway. It was another very firm challenge, Andy, and again took loads of the ball, but certainly catches the man in the process.
Yeah, again, I think it is a fair one. Don't get me wrong. I think you see he comes away with the ball. He sets himself in the counter attack, but it's just a follow through. It was at a fair pace. Max Aaron, is certainly feeling the effect. But it gives Rangers the opportunity to reset themselves, get a breath back and get these two substitutions on the park. It'll be interesting to see the two that are coming off. I fully expect Max Aarons to be one of them, and just the other one, will it be Mohamed Diamandi, just given the fact he's on that yellow card?
Well, still we await the fourth officials boards as Aarons gets treatment here. We're into now the 89th minute. Score still level at 1-1 as it stands at Pittodrie as well. Aarons now limping off the park as we wait to see if he's going to be completely replaced. Victor Gomez offering him a hand there, a handshake as he makes way. Is he going to be the man who's replaced? Well, it's Chermiti who's been replaced by Antman, first of all. And Gassama is making his way. He was beginning to, but Antman's just telling him, no, you stay over on the right hand side. I think he's quite bemused by that. Jiri Gassama. It's going to be Antman on the left, and indeed it is Magoma for Aarons.
It looked as if Jedi Gassama's eyes lit up because he thought he was coming over at that left hand side, but Danny Rule pointed, get back over on that right hand side. It's Oliver Antman, but Yusuf Chermiti was the one that was sacrificed, so Dusan Miovski will be the lone striker for the last 1 minute of regular time.
Yeah, there'll be a fair bit of added on time, you would imagine, as Rangers pick up the ball at the back through Fernandes. This will be a real disappointment if they end up only getting the point from a game which they led and had a man extra for half an hour. They haven't really been able to take advantage of that at all. In fact, on the contrary, clearly they've lost a goal since Braga were down to 10 men, given away by Giga there inside his own half, and it's fed forward for El Wazani. Into the box he comes, Raskan's back with him, he's on the left hand side, he's gone for goal, and Butland forced into the save, into the side netting. It'll be a Braga corner, and the Rangers fans voicing their disapproval because Nasser Giga looks a bag of nerves there at the back. Another poor pass out from the back, and he's got his own side on the back foot in the closing stages here.
We're seeing it all far too often for Nasser Giga at the minute. You know, he's unopposed again, nobody anywhere near him. It's a simple 10-15 yard pass, but he telegraphs it for the Braga player to read it, step onto it, and when he side a corner, I mean, everything that Braga have had for a positive standpoint of attacking has came from Rangers undoing all second half. 6 minutes added on, we're into that now as it's swung in. Butland's been a bit of a mess of it, he's managed to get it half clear, comes back out, and now he saves. Second time around he wasn't convincing at all when the corner came in. Rangers just managed to deal with it, and he's done so much good work for his team in the early part of the game, particularly Jack Butland, but he almost cost them right at the death here as he rather fumbled the corner, and he was so lucky that Tavernier was on hand to help it away. And then on the rebound, Victor Gomez denied by the right hand of Butland. He signals his teammate that the wind plays his part, but looked a bit unconvincing there. He didn't try to catch it, tried to punch it, got it all wrong. Braga got another opportunity here to put the ball in the box.
Yeah, it's Braga looking to be the team to get all 3 points here at the end. It's given away by Antman at the edge of his own box, and then a rash challenge by Nico Raskan. Oh, the referee spotted a handball. I thought Raskan was going to be penalised for a push, and Braga bench are absolutely furious, and I have a bit of sympathy with them over that one. I thought it was a bit of a barge by Raskan. Anyway, Rangers get the decision, and they can try and come forward here in stoppage time. Clip forward looking for Majowski. It's nodded behind by Carvalho, and it will be a Rangers corner, and perhaps a chance here to snatch the victory at the death.
7th corner of the night for Rangers. They've had opportunities not only for corners but for wide free kicks, not managed to make them count, and they've probably only got 1 or 2 potential opportunities to get this winner.
Here's Tavernier, right hand side to the near post, and it's into the arms of Lukas Hornacek, off the head of a couple of Rangers players in the end, and it remains Rangers 1, Braga 1. 2 minutes of the 6 of injury time have been played. Again, not making the most of these set pieces. Hornacek clears up over the halfway line. Fernandes knocks it out of play in this near side. It'll be a Braga throw in midway inside the Rangers half, and the Braga right. Danny Rule making his way back into his dugout as Moscardo is about to come on late on here for the Portuguese side. 1 apiece. Is there to be a winner here as El Wazani helps it back to Victor Gomez, right hand side, trying to make his way in towards the Rangers penalty area. Ngoma makes the challenge, knocks it out of play. Another Braga throw in, and Moscardo will come on here for the closing few minutes, although it's not going to happen just yet as the throw-in's taken into El Wazani, almost at the byline, right hand side. Gets it back to Gorby, still on that right flank, forced out of play there. Rangers throw deep in their own territory, almost down at the corner flag. They need it up the other end, as Andy's been saying. A point really won't do if they have ambitions, as unlikely as they seem, of qualifying for the latter stages of this competition. A point would mean they would need maximum 9 from the last 3 games to give them even a hope of making it through. As things stand, they are set for the first point of the competition as Gorby is replaced by Moscardo in the middle of the park. And Ngoma takes the throw down the left flank for Rangers, forward for Majowski. Diamondi trying to help on, still it's midway inside Rangers' own half. Down goes one of the Braga players, and is that Diamondi that's been penalised for the challenge, and if it is, he's really bordering on a second yellow, and I think that's the case that has been made. Well, Braga bench are saying it was an elbow. Let's have a, well, I don't think it's an elbow as such, but his arm is outstretched.
Oh, but he's bought it because he's off.
Oh, has he gone for it? He is. Is that straight red?
Second booking for Diamante.
Was that a second? Did he show the second yellow? I didn't see the yellow being shown. It's a second red card of the competition for Mohamed Diamante. Well, I can understand that being a second yellow. I don't think it's a straight red offence, is it?
No, but you know what, Alistair? We spoke about it. You know, will Danny Rowe eventually make that change? Because, you know, Diamante, he's certainly not the type of player you want to be running the risk of being on a booking, because he just shows some rash tendencies. You know, I don't think there's any intent there. I think he uses his arm to try and give himself a bit of leeway to attack the header. But no, the Braga players, they've used that one all night, feeling a bit of contact and going down holding their face, and this one the referee's bought it, and it's a second yellow card.
So 10 against 10 for the closing few minutes of injury time. Maybe just 1 minute of those left as it's into the Rangers box. Can Braga find a late winner here at Ibrox? Hoofed away by Oscar up towards the halfway line. Gassama will chase it. He's bars in the back there. Free kick to Rangers. Horta penalised. Braga just trying to run the ball away. Gomez must go in the book for that one. Indeed he does. Rangers take the free kick. It's Antman left hand side. Back to Magoma. Back the way it goes once more to Fernandes. He tries to clip it forward, looking for Gassama, who wins the header. Away though by Lagerbielke. Rangers will pick up through Magoma left hand side, looking for an option ahead of him. Instead he has to go back to Fernandes, who takes a chance up against Horta, but he gets away with it and then plays it to his left once more to Magoma. Tries to get it into the box but blocked by Horta. Fernandes to Tavernier, back to Fernandes and back to Tavernier once more. Almost caught in possession but still manages to keep it. Out to the right hand side for Gassama. Gassama into the box. Raskan can't get there. Nodded behind by Victor Gomez. This could be the last chance of the game. It's behind for a corner. We're into the 7th minute of added on time. There should be more than the 6 because of the red card to Diamante and the substitutions. Can Rangers get a last dramatic winner here? Tavernier from the left hand side. Corner kick. Curls it in towards the back post. Hornacek gets 2 good fists to it. Antman will pick up edge of the box. Can he get it back into the danger area? Tries to do so. Up goes Raskan. Can't direct it towards goal, and the referee blows the final whistle and boos ring round Ibrox. Not for the first time this season. Nasser Giga hits the deck. He is dismayed, no doubt, by his part in the equalising goal. A costly mistake that allowed Gabriel Martinez to slot in past Jack Butland for a leveller when Braga were down to 10 men and had been for half an hour of the game, when Salazar was shown a red for a headbutt aimed at Nico Raskan, and all that after James Tavernier had drawn level with Ali McCoist in terms of European goals for the club just before the break from the penalty spot after a handball was spotted by VAR. But Rangers, try as they might, could not take advantage of the man extra. In truth, they had their chances were few and far between, and then came that Giga mistake on 69 minutes, allowed Gabriel Martinez to equalise before Diamante was sent off, I think, for a second yellow in stoppage time to make it 10 players apiece, and it also finished a goal apiece here at Ibrox. The first point of the Europa League campaign, but it really should have been more given the circumstances. But it finishes Rangers 1, Braga 1.